Right now, we're riding this incredible wave of expansion. I know I've been really feeling it. I sense that you have too. There's this powerful, growing energy in the universe as we've seen a lot of things breaking down, a lot of the old established order of things crumbling around us, a lot of chaos with that. The new world is emerging. I've been talking a lot about this lately because I want to encourage all of you to really start and bring your ideas and your creations to the world. Right now, it's more important than ever that we all take a part in forging this new world, this new identity for ourselves and for our communities, our societies, our families, and humanity as a whole. Because if we don't, the thing that will emerge will be, well, a lot uglier than anything we're seeing now. And it's exciting. As awful as all of that can sound, it's actually a really exciting and potent time for us to put our ideas out there and to really start birthing these things that we've been sitting on. And as I sit here this morning and think about this, I've realized more and more that I haven't really put my own vision out there. I mean, I am putting it out there, but I haven't really outlined for everyone what I see for myself and for the people I work with here, all of you, this community, and beyond. So I wanted to share some of that with you today, and hopefully it inspires you to put forth some of your own ideas. Even if you have struggled to start in the past, or you're not sure if your idea is something great, chances are it's something really great. You have to get started to find out where the greatness in it lies. So when I started reading tarot just over 2 years ago, when I started reading professionally for others, I had gotten to a place in my life where I'd gone through a great phase of healing and transformation after struggling a lot with things like anxiety, depression, as well as a number of physical conditions, things like diabetes and morbid obesity. And I'd come through a lot of that through a phase of very profound transformation in my life. As I started to put myself back into the world and start engaging with people again, I quickly realized that I wanted to help others. I wanted to share this transformation with others because it was so powerful in my life. And if I think about what would have happened if I hadn't gone through all this, it's to this day, it's scary. I don't know that I would be alive today, honestly, and enjoying my life as much as I am if it weren't for all of this healing that happened, this great transformation in my life. So I found myself working in this retail job, essentially, framing art for other people, which I enjoy a lot. I love art. I'm a bit of an artist myself, and I support creatives and just people who love art in general as well. And I found myself talking to people and listening to their stories. You know, people bring in stuff for framing, and they don't, it's not all just like a concert poster or just some random photos, their vacation or something like that. And those are meaningful things to people, but a lot of the things that we frame and deal with are the most priceless artifacts of their lives. They're their memories. They're things that have been handed down to them for centuries, generations. And the stories that are attached to these things, the emotional importance, the sentimentality, the value of them is profound to people. And so when you're handling these things and helping people preserve them and display them, you get into all these conversations and you start to really learn a lot about people. They start to unpack their triumph and sorrow, their grief, and their joy and all this stuff. It's quite profound. One example, one story that I often tell is there was one day where I was working by myself, and this gentleman comes in. He's an older gentleman. He's probably in his 60s. And he only speaks Spanish. So he comes in and, he's like, hablo español. And, I know very little Spanish. I know a few words here and there, but I certainly know enough to know that he's asking me if I speak Spanish. And I don't. And we don't really have anyone in the store at the time who can help sort of translate. But I was bound and determined to help this individual. It's a very visual thing. It's a very visual transaction when we're framing something for somebody and picking a frame and all that. And so I was like, we can get through it. And he pulls out this very old picture, probably from the 40s, of his mother, and proceeds to tell me in Spanish, this is my mother. She's long gone, which is obvious. The photo is so old that it's literally a black and white photo that had been colorized. This is before color photos were inexpensive and commonly available to people. So this thing is like his whole world. It's probably the last thing he has of his mother's. And this gentleman's like 65 years old. She's long gone. And he's just looking at me, with these eyes of like, please, don't, like, please preserve this. Please treat this like she was your own mother. And we got through it. I took his order. We figured out how we're going to frame everything. And he was very happy. And we took the order in. About 2 weeks later, he picks it up. I wasn't there. And I didn't see him for like a few months. And then a few months go by. I have no idea whether he liked it or not. And my coworker comes back and they're like, hey, someone's asking for you. And I hear someone out there like, Jose. And I go out, and this gentleman returned with his wife. And they're so happy to see me. And they have these leather portfolios, like these document portfolios with them, like something you would put a diploma in. And they're dressed very nicely, like in their Sunday best, like they had just come from church. But it wasn't a Sunday. It was like the middle of the week. And he opens up his document to show it to me. And what he has is his citizenship papers. And literally, and they're signed that day. So literally, they had gone and they had been sworn in as U.S. citizens. And they came right from the ceremony, right to me, and asked for me personally to frame these documents for them, which meant so much to them. It was the most proud moment of their lives, probably. And I did, and they loved them. And I always think of that because it's a very important moment in my life where I realized that I need to be helping other people more. And I can do that best by sharing how I was able to heal and grow and transform my life. And that's what pulled me into starting to read tarot. That was 2.5 years ago. And over those 2.5 years, this mission, this mandate, this vision has grown so greatly. It's grown into reading for others, not just at local events, but on the internet. It's grown into teaching others to read tarot, which I think is an even more powerful use of it. And that's really where my transformation came from, is this tool that helped me navigate the very complicated waters of self-healing. It looks like other things like transformational guidance and coaching that I also offer one-on-one. But the biggest part of it is it looks like this community, this growing community that is slowly forming around me. And that's been a beautiful thing to watch. I started doing live streams on YouTube about a year ago, and we just had one last night, which is also why my voice is kind of hoarse and a bit weak today. And it's 2 hours of mini tarot readings on a YouTube live stream. And we have a very growing but faithful little following of people there. And so I've done all this work so far, and it's just been amazing to me to see how people's lives are touched by it. And I want to be clear, I don't give myself any real credit in that. The healing and the transformation that people go through, whether it's just a reading or whether it's one-on-one coaching or anything in between, is really all of their doing. I'm just the person who shows up, points them in the right direction, and says, your answer is that way. You need to go in that direction. I've been in there. It looks scary, but I can assure you it's safe. You can go there and you will find what you're looking for. But you have to make the journey. I can't make it for you. And that's the really core of any sort of healing or transformational work that you do with people is really just pointing them in a direction that's going to get them there, even if it's not obvious to them. And then just walking alongside them and supporting them in that. So the point of all of this is it's time for you to start putting your vision out there. And also putting a name to it. That's a good start, actually. Even if you struggle to define it or feel like you can begin, maybe you feel like the vision isn't perfect or good or great, but you feel it and you think about this thing. There's a yearning. There's an importance of, I need to do this. The world needs me to do this. Putting a name to it is a great start. And it's a hard one. It's one that I've always struggled with. There's a profound universal truth in the world. And it's expressed in every religion and philosophy that we know of. And to put it simply, it basically states that whatever you name something or label something does not truly encapsulate the essence of that thing. And no word or thought truly can. It can only ever just be a symbol of the thing. And that's a powerful understanding to bring into your daily life. It's a very freeing thing as well. But it can also be challenging because we have to label things in order to tell the other humans about it. So for a long time, I struggled what to call our sort of community, this coalescence of people around my ideas and what I've been trying to do. And it was only about a few months ago that it really synced. A community seems vague, although it does seem accurate. And also it's just a big word. It's a lot to chew on. I don't like a lot of strong social structures and institutional type things. So, calling it, I don't know, something else just didn't seem right. But I finally settled on a tribe. We call it the Tarot Tribe. And I think that's perfect because a tribe is really like extended family. It's the people beyond your immediate family, sort of your found family. It's people that you share ideas and some common values with, enough that you can come together and feel safe within that community, within the tribe. And yet there is freedom there to explore and express yourself uniquely. And that requires just enough structure and understanding amongst people, but without these like really rigid and really hard rules. And so I invite all of you to join the tribe. And it's real simple. You can join just by leaving a comment today. There's no formal sign up. There's no test. There's no interview. You just have to engage with this video or any of the other stuff that I'm putting out there. You can like and follow me on any of these platforms that you're watching this on. You can join us for our YouTube lives on Thursday night. You can get a free reading. And it goes from there. You can take a class. You can join me for one-on-one guidance if you feel so inspired. But there really is no gatekeeping here. I just invite everyone in. Engage with us, interact, leave a comment, send me a DM. That's all it takes. And we'll start a conversation. And very quickly, I'm sure we'll find out whether we have enough in common to gel and to be this tribe together. But I think it's a powerful thing, as loosely knit as we are. I think this is going to continue to grow and flourish and amplify a lot of the ideas and vision that I have for my work in the world and really our work together. So I'd like to outline a little bit of that because I don't know that I've spelt it out as well as I could have in the last few years. Like I said, I got into this wanting to help others and thinking about all the ways it could help. And as I started reading for the public and doing these online, doing them in person, doing these events as well, it really struck me how much people are really yearning for this, how much they really are ready. You know, I can sit in a bar here in town, in a college town, and have a bunch of random people come through um, and offer these tarot readings for people, have my little sign out and whatnot. And yeah, a lot of people just walk by, they don't care and stuff. But I have a lot of people sit down for a reading. They've never had a reading before. They've always been curious about tarot. Maybe their crazy aunt or somebody used to read cards, and you know they were a little out there, so they never really wanted to get a reading from them or anything like that. But people are just so primed for self-discovery and personal transformation, and they just don't even realize it until you sit down with them. So I get these people who ask for a reading mostly out of just curiosity. And I don't expect a lot to happen in those moments. They haven't come into this bar or gone out for the evening expecting to have a profound breakthrough um, in their own self-awareness. And yet, we pull cards, we get to talking, and without me having to really try to dig, or press anyone, something always emerges from it. And people have these amazing breakthrough moments at a time, again, where they didn't come out seeking that. And so it just shows me that we're all deeply ready for this discovery, for this transformation. And that led me into wanting to offer deeper work, because a lot of times we do a reading, people are eternally grateful. They have this wonderful breakthrough moment, and they'll join my email list and take my business card, but they'll leave, they'll walk away, and I just don't hear from them again. I don't take that personally. It doesn't offend me or make me sad, but I do have to wonder, is there another step they could take? Is there a place where they could go further? So I branched out in the last year. I've started to offer one-on-one transformational guidance or coaching, although I'm not the biggest fan of the word coaching, where we really work through and get to the deeper root of what your great vision for yourself and the world really is. We work through the process of first understanding that, crafting that vision and refining it, and then actually creating it and bringing it out to the world. And that can be so many things. That can be you wanting to create, sell artwork. It can be wanting to start your own business outside of that, some other form of spiritual work. It can be wanting to just find a great relationship, find your life partner, or change some things about your physical health, or just daily habits. All these things are part of this deep, profound transformation, this return to the purest and most authentic person that you really are, that's been hidden by the personas, the limiting beliefs, and expectations placed on you by society, family, and friends. And so that's a big piece of my vision. And the vision just continues to grow from there. I think what I really see longer term, 5-10 years out, as this grows, is taking this tool of tarot and really bringing it further into the mainstream. I really believe that tarot is a powerful tool that hasn't been fully utilized or brought to the masses. And I can see, and I have this vision of this being integrated in ways into more mainstream modalities, like mainstream therapy and things like that. and doing some real scientific testing and development of some of these methods, and then making them available to the people who do a lot of psychological and mental health work to try to help more people. I really think the visual nature of tarot helps cut through a lot of the lack of attention that people have, or inability to focus, and especially for people who are genuinely neurodivergent. I'm not a big fan of diagnoses, so even if you just self-diagnose or identify as being neurodivergent in some way, I think the imagery of tarot is something that can have a profound impact where maybe other therapies have not. And longer term, as we go forward into the future, that is a huge piece of what I hope to do eventually. I hope to eventually start up research and fund studies and development of these practices. And that's all going to be based on the work that I'm doing now in my coaching, in my readings, and even in teaching tarot to others. So that's sort of my big and beautiful vision. I hope that I've laid it out to you in a not so convoluted way, but on a Friday morning after an exciting live, that's kind of where I'm at with everything. But more importantly, a big part of this is you. And it isn't just about you contributing to this cause, but you coming along and building your own vision with us. And so I really encourage you right now, and again, with this great expansive energy in the universe, think about some great thing you'd love to do. You don't have to have it a perfect idea. You don't need to know how you'll achieve it. Even if it's a very vague and sort of not refined idea, please drop it in the comments or send me a DM and let me know like what it is you're wanting to move towards. What is the thing that you want to birth to this world that you think would make the world a better place for all of us to live?